What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 71, and we start today's episode off with three very interesting transfer offers here for three of our players. Joel Matip is wanted by Inter for £19 million, and we asked him for £30 million. He's been a very good centre-back for us this season, 26 years old, 83 overall, but I wouldn't say no to £30 million. Also, Valencia wants Schneiderlin, who we signed just a few months ago in the summer transfer window from United for £13 million plus Capu. We asked for £13 million though, and we shall wait and see what they say. And also Mario Balotelli is wanted by Braga as well, the Portuguese side. He put in a £27 million. He's another new player for this season, came in on a pre-contract. We asked for £50 million for the top scorer in the Premier League though, and we shall wait and see what they say. So three very interesting transfers there for Matip, Balotelli and Schneiderlin. Honestly, selling any of those players, I wouldn't be against it. I'm sure with the money we'll get for those players, we could sign better players as replacements, but either way, they've all been very good for us this season, and I wouldn't really be too keen on letting them go for a cheap deal. So unless they want to match those counter offers, I'm probably not going to sell them. Still, Montreal Impact did indeed accept a bid for the regen of Frank Lampard. We put in a bit of £1 million plus one of our random Canadian left backs, who we've got a job lot of right now, and we'll see what William says after we offer a contract. Does look as though he will come to Vicarage Road though and join up with Gerrard's regen, which would be quite an interesting one. Might have to play them together in the same game and see how they do. But also John Joe Shelby is wanted by Norwich as well. We asked him for £20 million, and we shall wait and see what they say. So some very interesting transfer offers to start this episode of Career Mode off. 4 transfer offers right there. One for Shelby, one for Balotelli, one for Schneiderlin, and one for Joel Matip as well. The money we're talking about possibly getting for those players would be absolutely incredible when you combine all the fees together. But we'll have to wait and see what those clubs say to those counter offers and see if we do sell those players or instead keep hold of them. Still, we take on Morecambe for the first game of today's episode here, taking on the League 2 side of Vicarage Road for our FA Cup third round replay. Now, of course, in the FA Cup, you have replays and not extra time and penalties when the games are drawn. So we drew the first game against Morecambe away from home. Disappointed to draw that one against the League 2 side, but just 10 minutes in, we would take the lead here as Inaki Williams sprints down the left-hand side, rises a slide challenge, slides it inside towards Matej Vidra, and he gets his first goal of the season and an assist for Williams as well, who has been playing some very good football of late. So Vidra's first goal of the season, an assist for Williams, and it is Watford 1, Morecambe 0. But how about this in the 16th minute? Morecambe won themselves a penalty, and this was one of those where I just sit there and I just think, this game still has a lot of flaws, doesn't it? Because what on earth is Stephen Corker being penalised for here? I just do not know. I know 2 Morecambe players hit the deck, but Corker just chested the ball up in the air. He hasn't hit one of any of those players. Why is he getting penalised for that? Why is Corker giving away a penalty there? Answers on the postcard, I have no idea. That was just a stupid penalty decision. I cannot see why it was given, but it was, and Morecambe had a great chance to equalise from the spot. It was Miller who would stand up and take it against a regen of Gianluigi Buffon, but sadly for us, the Italian is sent the wrong way. Miller gives him the eyes and puts it into the bottom corner with a really cool finish. So Morecambe already back on level terms, just a few minutes after conceding the opening goal of the game, but again, a goal which I think was just really harsh on us. I cannot see why the penalty was given. Sadly it was, and Morecambe do grab themselves the equalising goal. So taking on this League 2 side, and I discussed it, a few episodes ago, when we faced Morecambe in the FA Cup third round, the first game between us here, I said that I've had trouble playing against lower league sides. Last season, of course, we got knocked out by Leeds, the Championship side, in a Capital One Cup on penalties here at Vicarage Road. This season, of course, getting knocked out by Fleetwood Town, the League 1 side in the Capital One Cup. Now taking on Morecambe, a League 2 side, with all due respect to them and everything, we should still be able to come through with the wins pretty comfortably against these sort of sides, even with a backup team out there. And as you can see right here in the first half, we were piling on the pressure against Morecambe. We'd had 7 shots at the break, 5 of which on target, had scored a goal, yes, but either way, it was still 1-1, and in the second half, the same sort of stuff was happening. We were piling on the pressure and getting so many shots on goal, but the goalkeeper for Morecambe, their skipper, Barry Roche, the experienced Irish goalkeeper, was just on fire. As you can see, he was saving literally everything in this game, and we just kept on getting chance after chance after chance again. But every single time we got a shot away, the vast majority fell on target, but Roche was just having the game of his life. He was saving every single shot we had on goal. Yes, a couple of them fell from range, but for the vast majority of them, they required some very decent stops, and we just kept on going for goal. We kept on trying to get ourselves a winning goal in this game to get ourselves through to the fourth round. Brendan Galloway heads that header from the corner wide of the post, and in stoppage time as well, we won ourselves another corner. Redmond swings the ball in. It's flicked on at the near post by Michael Keane, and it hits the bar, and Morecambe survived the 90 minutes just like they did in the first game. There's not going to be another replay though. We do go to extra time here at Vicarage Road. What a dramatic 90 minutes. We had so many chances, but unfortunately, we just couldn't get the better of Barry Roche, who was in the form of his life. But in the 104th minute here, 14 minutes after the restart in the first half of extra time, Troy Deeney comes off the bench and powers down the left-hand side, takes it around Bailey and goes for goal, and I'll say it time and time and time again. Troy Deeney is one of those strikers who we just can't afford to ever get rid of, because he is my safety net, like Yassi Zardes, like Saido Berahino, like many strikers I've had in many career modes of mine. He's one of those players who I know will always score goals. He came off the bench late on in normal time for Inaki Williams, who was getting a little bit tired, and he scores the goal that will send us through to the FA Cup fourth round. So I know that some of you guys would rather me replace him and bring in someone younger, but he's only 29. I mean, that's not really old or anything. He's the Watford skipper. He's a big reason why they're in the Premier League this year. And, you know, Troy Deeney is just a really, really reliable striker for me. I know he's had some scoring slumps. I know last season he had a few months where he just really couldn't hit the back of the net for Toffee, but he still knows how to find the back of the net. He still knows how to score, and those are the type of players you just can't afford to get rid of. You know, you need to make sure you got at least one strike you can always rely on when the chips are down and you need a goal, and that's what Troy Deeney does for us. You know, he always is going to be there. He's in the reserves right now. He'll never be a first team player. We won't see much of him, but when we do see him, we know he's probably going to find the back of the net and bail us out. So he does just that. He does grab us the goal there. It sends us through to the FA Cup fourth round. A very frustrating game, but thankfully we are indeed through to the FA Cup fourth round, and our defence of the trophy lives on for another round at least. Still, following that, you saw that Iorfa did get an injury. I didn't see it in the game, but he's going to be out for a few weeks. And also, Valencia said they go as high as £28 million for Schneidlin. We asked for £29 million. Don't really want to sell the guy, to be honest, but £28 million. We'll wait and see what they say and see what happens there. But also, following that, you see that Toby Olari has gone to Villa for £6 million. Braga aren't going to match the bid for Balotelli, unsurprisingly, but Inter have surprised me and said they will match the £30 million bid for Joel Matip. So that's a really, really interesting transfer right there for Matip, because, you know, we signed him for free. He came on a pre-contract at the start of the second season. You see Lampard's regen comes in here for £1 million. Not too bad for an 18-year-old. We signed him on a pre-contract, but Matip this season has really stepped up a little bit. He's been very, very good for us at the back. A big reason as to why we're still top of the table. So Matip for £30 million. I'm sitting there thinking, should I have done that? I mean, he's 26 years old, still got room to grow, 83 overall. Am I making the wrong decision here? Should I have sold Joel Matip or not? He is going to go for Inter now, surely for £30 million. And Schneidlin as well is probably going to go to the Mestalla as well at Valencia for £28 million, as we accept this bid here, as it is £12 million over his valuation, and we'll start looking for a younger player, because we stalled it initially, but you'll see we do come back to it after the Sunderland game and do accept it. So for Matip, £30 million. Schneidlin, that bid does get accepted after this game, gets Sunderland for £28 million. That's £58 million for those two players, and don't get me wrong, we signed him for a combined total of £13 million. That was all the fee for Schneidlin. Matip was a free transfer, but both of those players are a big reason as to why we're top of the table right now. And I said in the last episode, I didn't plan to make any big sales in order to sign new players, but that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. Matip and Schneidlin, two first 11 players, very good defensive players for us. They look as though they're on their way out to Inter and Valencia respectively. Am I going to regret this? £58 million is a lot of money, but will I regret it? Would I have been better off keeping them here and saying no to those European sides? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting though, and it looks as though these two players are going to play their final game for us here in this game against Sunderland. Schneidlin almost signed off in this game as well in the 45th minute of a goal here. A good strike from range, but the shot was well saved by Pantilimon and Termahide for a corner. And from this resulting corner, Boufal plays it short once again to Nathaniel Klein. The former Liverpool right back crosses the ball into the centre, picks out hero Riedewald, and our Dutch centre half playing left back this season heads in the cross and makes it Sunderland 0, Watford 1 with his first goal of the season. You may have noticed as well, I wasn't controlling Riedewald for this header. A few of you have been picking this out in the comments of late too. This has happened quite a few times this season. Sometimes I cross the ball in and I'm not controlling the player in the centre. The AI automatically just auto switches to the wrong man for some reason, but he also head the ball or volley it or whatever else, trying to get on the end of the cross to help you out a little bit. That's kind of cool. Never really noticed that before, but either way, happened a few times this season, and it is Sunderland 0, Watford 1 with Riedewald getting the goal. We should have had a penalty there, but the referee said nothing for that trip on Balotelli, and in the 68th minute here, Ryan Talla heads over this corner from Boufal and puts it over the bar and behind for a goal kick, but it was how the game would finish. Final score at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Watford 1, and another 3 points notched notched up for the league leaders. So pleased with that. Another good win for us in this game. But once again, we were very solid at the back in this game, and two big reasons were because of Joel Matip and Morgan Schneiderlin putting in really good shifts. So don't get me wrong, to get the money we're getting for those sort of players, £58 million for the two of them, that's a huge profit of £55 million in total for both of those players when we signed them for free, and of course £30 million for Schneiderlin. But either way, they were very good in that game, and replacing those players could be very difficult for us. But also as well, another player that is going to leave the club is John Joe Shelby, because Norwich, to my surprise, matched a £20 million bid, and he is going to go to Carrow Road. So how about this, man? Seriously, £78 million is going to be acquired for these three players. Matip for £30 million, Schneiderlin for £28 million, and Shelby for £20 million. And when you add that to the £6 million we got for Obi Olari at the start of the episode, that's a combined total, guys, of £84 million for those four players. £84 million. I don't think I've ever accumulated this amount of money for those players in one transfer window before. Four players are getting sold. Schneiderlin goes, Matip goes, Shelby goes, and Olari went to start the episode. £84 million accumulated. Yes, of course, the board will skim a little bit off the top as they always do, but either way, £84 million for those four players. It is going to be all changed at Watford. Do not miss the upcoming episodes. We're going to be making some very interesting transfers. It is going to be really exciting as we reinvest that money into the team. But thank you for watching the episode, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like. So it's much appreciated. Of course, it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of my FIFA 16 Career Mode, which you won't want to miss as we begin the rebuilding process very soon.